Hello there, and welcome to today's video. Now, I might sound a bit tired today, but that's because I've spent hours searching for a custom figure for tomorrow's video, and as of recording this, I am still yet to find him, and it's just really getting on my nerves. Anyway, today we have a Lego order, and my fiance was really excited to open this, so I did say she could open it as long as she got it on camera, so I could show all of you what I got and then build them here before adding them to my Lego city. When this box is open, you'll see exactly what I got, and I did get a free gift with purchase. As we can see, there's a few Dreamz items I'm also going to be looking at, actually one of which is the gift with purchase. And when the box is open, you will see that I also have some new road elements to add to the Lego city, and I couldn't resist getting one of the dream sets, especially when this gift with purchase here was available. I think I had to spend £35 on a combination of Dreamz, City, Friends, and if they haven't sold out, there should be a few more online. I know as of getting this order I checked and they were still a few selling, so if you wanted that, be sure to pick it up. I had to get the little glob because I didn't get him in the set. And I also picked up one of the new Lego City sets just to get that free delivery, as it would have nearly cost me the same to get it delivered. So we'll look at that later. And here is the dream set I got. It's the Dream Village. It comes with a wizard, a blacksmith and a chef, and they just look so fun. I'm only halfway through the Dream series so far, so I don't know if this is exactly a scene from it. We have seen the character a few times in the background. However, I'm not too sure, and if we turn it over, this can be combined, all three of the houses, into one big one, and it does look amazing. I think this will be the one that I'm building, and I wonder if this shows up. Perhaps this is the house from the scene, but it looks really good. And it's a very colourful build as well, which is very nice to see, as I am a sole collector of the Star Wars sets. Well, I guess not a sole collector, but that's my main focus when it comes to Lego. And now the last one in the box. This time I've got no receipt to hide as it's all digital, so we can take a look at this new road set. Road plates included, of course, and even the streetlights here glow in the dark. I didn't notice this when I ordered it, and I've only just seen it watching this video. And if we spin the box around, you can see they attach with 2x4 plates, just like so in the top right of the box. You can also see a bunch of the traffic lights and all the other accessories that I will be including in the city in some form or another. And there's also a cross in there with a few speed bumps, which is a cool extra detail. Now, I did also say that if she organised them for me, I would include it as my thumbnail. So as you can see, you've probably already seen this by clicking on it, but I'm going to take this time to speak about my plans for a load of these sets. And especially the Lego City one, I thought that I could do with the animals if I ever create a zoo or if it ever gets big enough, and the seals were my favourite out of the bunch. But these road pieces match up with my layout so perfectly, it is amazing. I wanted to create a few custom 8x8 tiles, so you'll soon see them. But this is my Lego order. Now, I was going to open all of these sets, including these two Dream sets, on camera for you today. However, I think I'm going to decide to leave these Dream sets for a future video, maybe watch the rest of Dreamz. I'm only 10 episodes in, so I've got another 10 to go. And then once I've watched them and I know exactly what this scene is from, I can do a more in-depth review, and that video will be coming at a later date. So hang around, subscribe for that, and let's move these to the side. And that means today we'll be looking at this little snow speeder with the animals. City have been pumping out a load of animals, and it'd be awesome to pick up a few more of these, especially with the squirrels, the cats, the dogs to populate my Lego city. However, my city's not that big at the minute, and most of the cats and dogs are quite common creatures, so I went with the seals. You don't normally see seals. There's also one with turtles, which I think will be an awesome one to pick up. And overall, it looks like a neat set for how small it is. So I'll definitely be building that today, and taking a look at these roads, fitting them into my city, and taking a look at all the other work I've done since the last video. Of course, the last video was the Lego Friends Central Perk Modular, and I didn't really get much of the city built. I mean, I built a sidewalk for Chandler and Joey to sit on, but I have added more sidewalks since then, and I'll show you later, so I won't spoil everything, but do be sure to stick around, you can't miss it. I think first up we will build the Lego City set, so let me get this cracked open and I'll give you a quick review once it's built. I didn't realise this when I looked at the box, but we do get a fish. I guess it's technically another animal in here. I don't know, Lego have a weird policy about including like these fish and like battle droids in Star Wars sets, but I think it still counts, at least to some extent. But this the set done, we can add the sill on this little island here, overlooking its lunch. And this is a nice little camera which is brick built, and it does stand up there so you can get a nice shot of the seals. And really our minifigure should be wearing their helmet, so we'll whack their helmet on, and there we are. It's a nice little build, nice minifigures, and as I said, for the price of it, instead of paying the £6, the £7, whatever the delivery fee is, if you're not spending over £50, you might as well pick up one of these sets. Spend that extra little bit, but actually get some Lego for it. And also that does mean you're getting some VIP points back, which you don't earn VIP or, well, identities points as they are. That sounds so weird, I've got to get used to saying it. But you do earn identities points on sets, but not on delivery. So this is a very good set. And if we push this to the side, a handful of spare pieces. These are very good for mocks. They're like the pieces that we used on Doc Ock's arm in the Daily Bugle, but they are really handy pieces. And now let's get in to building the roads. Hello there and welcome to the Lego City. As you can see, I've done a bit of work all over the city since the Lego Friends modular last week, and I was hoping to get a few different custom road plates down, but upon looking at how big the plates are, I assumed they'd be 8x8s, but if we open this, you can see that the smallest is in fact an 8x16, and that is the crossing, which initially I was going to put at the back just out of the way, but now I'll have to move this as the rest of the road plates are all 16x16. Now, the depth of this Lego City is only 48 studs, which I know is quite a bit when it comes to display depth, but means that I can fit 3 of these road plates, and where I would have loved to have one in the middle, one at the back with a crossing, and then a few dotted around here, I will have to relocate this arrow and come up with something different, which I'm not too fussed about, as I'm not sure the arrow exactly worked too well. But if you did want to take a look and recreate it for your Lego City, I was building a turn left arrow for this lane here. Yes, I know I live in the UK, but my Lego City does drive on the right side of the road. I do prefer it a bit. I don't drive it myself. However, I do prefer being driven around on the right side. It just feels that much better. And we are one of the only places that don't do it. So it makes sense to have my Lego City drive on the right. But this piece will have to go to the side and Actually, perhaps I will take these bottom bits off it. They're only corner pieces, and that just helps to support the road from underneath. Now, I will probably change these at some point later in the future. I would like the model to be quite flush underneath. You can see at the front, as I've done with the sidewalk and the central perk. I'll put a picture up for you. You can see that the white and light bluish grey bricks are flush on the outside, so it does look very nice. But we are already down 2 road plates, and I'm not quite sure I exactly have the space to put the next 2 down without, as I say, changing what I had in mind. Now, I don't think the crossing will any longer go at the back here, so I'll put down this road plate, and I'll have to move the crossing to this front bit here. But I do have a stop sign just here. You might be able to make out what it says. It does say stop, as a stop sign does, and potholes. So this will have to have some sort of continuation out here, and for people coming this way, this was originally going to be a slow down sign, so I'll have to move this piece up, and perhaps I can add the crossing somewhere around here. And I'm not quite sure where I want it now, but maybe right at the end, as it might be too close to the turning, or in fact I could perhaps do a crossing on the corner, but that just might complicate things. So I think for now I'll keep it nice and out of the way, and I'll jumble this around a bit, make sure it all fits, and I'll see what happens with this tile. And you might be able to just see there is an extra 6 studs on the side here. Now, it might be 48 studs deep, and up to this point here it is 48 studs wide. However, coming back this way there is only 38 studs, and it is 10 studs shorter. So I've got 32 by 16 base plate, a 32 by 32 base plate, and what I've done is had to chop up a non-Lego base plate. No Lego base plates were harmed in this process. I chopped up a non-Lego branded base plate just to fill this 6 gap here, as I'm not sure we have any common, at least 6 by anything base plates, and I've just made a 6 by 48 base plate using the little pieces, and it works out quite nicely because I do have another 4 of these cubby holes. Now, I did already have a 48 by 38 base plate that I cut down to fit in one of these glass units that are below, and I've used that next to a 48 by 48 base plate for the Star Wars cubby hole. So that was very easy, and then these parts I've got from this base plate that I haven't used here will go into the other 2, and I'll do the same thing. But as for these road pieces, I suppose I can still have the slow sign, which will work quite nicely. This here is actually a bunch of bricks using the snot technique. As you can see, I've got a little ramp there, and what this is a little pothole right before the stop sign where it's been worn down, everyone braking sharply at the last minute. I've just clipped this onto this side piece here, put this little ramp right in the middle there to create and just finish off the pothole. And then what I'm going to do is grab this speeder here, who is going a bit too fast. He's got his helmet visor up. You can see the wind is pulling at his face. And he does actually have Elf Wago's helmet, which is one of the Lego poly bags, of a skeleton launching himself out of a cannon. And I've given him a bike and decided that he goes very fittingly here, speeding up, hitting the pothole right in front of the stop sign. And I do also have a police bike. Perhaps I can create some sort of police chase here, and I just think that that will look pretty cool. However, I don't seem to be able to stand up the police bike. Perhaps I'm missing a piece to hold him up, so for now he can just rest over here at the back. And I have a few other bikes that I'm going to be placing around. This one is just a simple pedal bike, and I've given him an arm with a watch and a helmet, just like the typical cyclist. We have 2 more motorcyclists here. You can see I've used a few different pieces. I think these are from one of the Monkey Kids sets or one of the promotional things I got there. And this here T-bar with the stud with a hole at the bottom just allows me to clip them anywhere I like, and just secures them down a bit more than placing the bike. I like the idea of securing them down even a little bit, just so they don't all fall over, and if I ever nudge it or if I end up dropping something and knocking the unit, they don't fall over. If we take a look at this bike, you can see I've modded a little sidecar, just used a little tyre piece into the side of the bike and added a dog on the side out for a nice bike ride. And I thought it was just something different. I could have created a sidecar for a kid or a younger Lego figure, but that was a bit too complex at this stage, and I thought keeping it simplistic and adding a pet would be a nice way of making my city unique and different from what you might have seen elsewhere. I think what I'll end up doing with this piece here is just continuing the line, maybe have a little dotted line going across just to know that people are turning this way. So I'll get to that at some point later. And also, now that I've moved this piece, I will have to modify it so we can get that middle lane piece in. And as you can see, what I have done with the other two is kept a 1x4 strip in the middle to one of the sides. And you'll see why I've done that in a minute. So let's clear all these spare pieces up, put them to the side and get opening the bags. Now I have ripped out a page from the instructions. Don't worry, I was going to recycle them anyway, not after scanning the QR code. Have a look at the insider's video for that and how you can get points from scanning the QR code. Onto the bags. If I just chaotically pour, you can see we have so many pieces, and a lot of these pieces I have made room on the sidewalks here. I've got the exact same pattern as this side. You can see the 4x6 with like the tile in the middle and the perimeter of studs. I've got two of them each side. I've tried to recreate here what I have on the other side, the 4x4. I'll include closer images up on the screen now. And I've got the 4x4 with the 4 studs at the top. I've got two 2x2 tiles in each corner, a 2x4 in the middle, and separating them 2x4 dark green plates. Now these can be dark green, light green, any green. I so happen to have a load of dark green ones from the Lego Friends sets, so decided to put them to use. And what that means is I can grab shrubbery just like this tree here, place it on there, and it just creates a nicer bit of green along the front that I can attach flowers to, put a few leaves, bushes, and makes it stand out just from the boring light grey that you'll see in a load of other Lego sets, and makes it again different, which is one of my aims for this mock. Now these are the pieces that you'll be seeing everywhere. They're the little white stripe in the middle of the road, and as you can see they just slot in like that, and this is why I left the 1x4 gap. So I'll add all of these, see where we're left. Pretty sure I just had another one of them pieces and I can't find it now, but I'll come across that soon, and when I do you will see that I've just had enough pieces to use for these two, as I haven't included them on the ends of the crossing here, and perhaps I only had one extra for the crossing, so I might have to move one, or what I might end up doing is actually relocating these two, just because it's on the corner here. It's sort of a crossroad and it just seems odd to have them going across when we've got signs here. Or maybe even I just will miss this one out and have the line continue across and maybe put another little bit here that I can change around. And I do have plenty of bricks now to fill them gaps, and what I'm going to do is just fill all the other gaps I've got, connecting all to base plates. Yes, 2-1. Apologies for that. I do have the football up in the background, and we've just scored a second goal, taking the lead. And if you are a fan of British football, I'll let you all have guesses which team I support in the comments. But now onto the smaller bag, the traffic lights and the light posts and all the other road signs we've got to look at. And this is why I kept this sheet, just for a reference to know how we're building all of the different accessories. Now, as we have a T-junction right here, I think this will be the best place to put the traffic lights. So what I can do, as I've only used 2x2 tiles in the corners of them, if I straighten up this traffic light, I can whack this in place of the 2x2, and the light is looking out on the road, doesn't take up any pavement space as it is in that 2 gap at the end of the pavement, and just looks really cool, doesn't get in anyone's way. So I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Now onto the first lamp post. We got a nice hinge piece to make sure that the lamp post stands up straight, and this should go in the other way around. And then at the top we've got another hinge piece. This time this one will have the light on it, and these bricks that they use for the light here, you can see a sort of an off-white, and that is because they do actually glow in the dark. If I can get a better image of this late at night, I will put a picture up on screen to the left, and if not, well, perhaps you have to buy it to find out. But hopefully you can see just how good they are, and if I build it correctly, I would know that the brick doesn't go on like that, as we have a solar panel on top. Of course, this Lego city is very environmentally friendly, just like some of these Lego bricks, as I'm pretty sure all these grass pieces are now built out of completely renewable materials. And we've got this lampshade just angled slightly, and what I'm going to do is actually spin it round so it's just closer to the road. And just up here where we don't have a traffic light and there's not much else going on, I'm going to pop off this 2x2 stud, easy as that, and place the traffic light overlooking the road, and perhaps even one on the other side. Now that'd be because this is a main road compared to the other one that does come off it, and would need to be well lit. We've got the traffic light on the next junction, and I don't exactly want street light outside the cafe blocking up the chairs, as all the pedestrians will need somewhere to walk around. So I am going to place it on the other side of the road, and I do think it will look quite nice. I think this has turned out better than I expected, because if you can see, the traffic light is about 3 or 4 studs back from the line, and especially where I live, the traffic lights always seem to be right next to you as you drive up, obviously expecting you to stop quite a bit before the line, because if you pull right up to that line, you cannot see any of the traffic lights. And even if there's a crossing, usually the lights are a bit before, and you end up looking out your window. And I think it's just how they're built, because it doesn't seem to be location specific, but I find that hilarious. And last but not least, we have 2 signs here by the looks. We got this one to say that the speed limit is 50 miles per hour, which I definitely need to put somewhere along this road to let people know how fast they're going. And we've got one warning everyone on the road that there's a crossing coming up, which definitely needs to be put somewhere over here, perhaps looking away or even to the crossing, just so everyone can see. I've decided to put it like that front on, so that you can sort of see both sides, but more so when I'm looking at it, I can see the crossing sign. And the 50 miles per hour, likewise, I really want to put here, because I feel like it should go here. But I think instead, I am going to end up whacking it on this corner here, right next to the tree, as I feel that's just the place that everyone can see, especially people coming out of this turning. They're going to be looking right, because that is where they're either going or the traffic's coming from. So I feel like that's a good spot just to let everybody know how fast they should be going. Now this leaf piece here is really handy, as we don't get the flowers with the studs on the bottom anymore, so I'll be putting the flowers just in there like that, and that will enable me to put the flower heads on here. Now, I'm not too fussed about what colour they are, so I am going to switch it up. Usually Lego tends to keep red flowers with red and yellow with yellow, and much like even the pinks, purples and all the other colours we get. But I am going to mix them because I think it just adds a bit of character to the plant, and not all plants are strictly one colour. Especially if you've been round a garden centre, you'll see plenty of plants with the same colour leaves on them. And I think they look a bit more real with all these plant heads, especially with the random amount. And I think I'll keep one plant off probably. Perhaps it's been knocked off or someone's picked it to give it to someone else. And once again, these plants can go quite nicely on the side here. And especially without that plant, it just makes it a bit more flush with the pavement and gives us enough plants to put on this other stem. Now, according to the instruction manual, there should only be 2 plant stems, and I think 3 of each plant, but you're always bound to get spares. With how small they are, we do end up getting a spare of each flower and a spare of the stems, which is very nice from Lego. And this flower can go here, perhaps even up against the lamppost. And we even get a spare red, amber and green light here, or more of a yellow in the Lego version. So I could end up building another traffic light if I really wanted to. These will go with my spare pieces, which is where you've seen the green plates and the giant dark grey slopes disappear to. It's just out of frame here, but these will end up going in my drawers. And now we've got a bunch of these 1x4s. Hopefully I've got enough here to fill the gaps that the road has left. And if not, I am hoping to be able to get down to a Lego store for the September releases, pick up a few sets that I want to, and to also see what bricks they have in the pick-a-brick wall, in the pab wall, as I don't live close to any of the Lego stores. There's not a Lego store near me, so I don't get a chance to visit the pab wall too often. And when I do, I have to make sure that I get my money's worth. Especially now that they're using these new cardboard boxes rather than the old plastic tubs. I just want to get a feel for how valuable they are compared to the cups, because being square, I assume you get more Lego bricks, or at least can fit them a lot nicer than the plastic cups, which are rounded, which goes against most Lego tiles and plates. And especially stacking them, if you were to clip them together, a square would be able to be packed out much more than the rounded circle cups. So I'm really interested in seeing how much it improves the pab wall. And as you might have seen, by adding all these pieces along the way, what that has enabled me to do is to lock all these plates together. And I think this one at the front is still disconnected. Perhaps I'll have to change something on the front here and have this overlap just to connect the 2 plates and lock them together. But all these plates are connected, and even these 2 here are connected, so I just have to find a way to connect the 3 different bits. And something easy like these plates here, that if I ever need to take out one chunk of it, I can just remove these and take it out pretty easily. Anyway, this is the city so far. I do have one of the rubbish trucks from the Lego movie. As you can see, this set is very dusty. It's been on display since the set come out, so I think it's earned its spot in the Lego city. And I hope you enjoy this sort of video. It's very different to my usual, but this city will be being built up. And as you can see, I've got another 2 Friends modulars to build. I've started working on them. They should be ready to go by the end of the week, where I'll do another update on what I've changed. And we can add a floor on top of there. I'm in an R in whether to build a staircase at the side to get to the flats or to try and work something in the middle, but I'll let you know what I decide on that. And I've got 2 spots back here and another 2 spots next to the central perk to add more modulars. And I think I'm definitely going to work on some sort of Lego store, and definitely want a few flats in there for all these minifigures to live. But that gives me like 16 different buildings that I need to start work on at some point, as well as the flat going above the Friends flat, which at the minute is looking to be sort of a Big Bang Theory themed flat. as that is another show I've really enjoyed, but we'll have to wait and see what I come up with for that. And I've got plenty more minifigures to be building to dot around. As you can see, there is no driver in this truck, so perhaps I'll find the minifigures or create some new ones. And let me know down in the comments if you've watched the video this far, and if you'd like to see how I did these side panels here, and especially this corner piece. Perhaps I can cover that in the next episode. But I think I've waffled on for enough, and it's time to end the video. So thank you so much for watching. Drop a like. Let me know if there's anything you want added to this city, as at this stage I'm completely open for ideas, and may the brick be with you always.